Africa just had the summers, and what a surprise, Kelly Khumalo is not happy. Now, why would Kelly Khumalo not be happy at these awards? Apparently, Ntokozo won awards that she probably was desiring to have in her catalog, on her wall. And to say, you know what, I once won an award for gospel musicians or against gospel musicians, even though I'm clearly nowhere close to a gospel musician. Now, if you didn't know, the summers actually happened yesterday, and it's got the internet on fire. I'm going to show you some of the tweets of what Kelly Khumalo was out there pissed off and angry about. But I found it quite interesting that while the summers are out there, I think we need to address a subject here that is quite interesting, which for me is image versus delusion. That's the first thing that came to my mind, is the reality show, the daily Christian commentary videos. If it's your first time over here, do be sure to check out them other videos that are down in the pinned comments. Now, someone might be asking, Ricky, why did you put, if you're talking about Ntokozo, why did you put a husband? Yeah, you know, if they say for every great man, a greater woman. So, same here, okay? For every great woman out there, there's a great husband. I am a fan of great marriages. Wonderful job that you guys are inspiring us, you know, the younger ones coming forward. Now, let's get to this, to the subject of delusion that's been rendered out there on socials right now. Now, Kelly Khumalo went a little bit off here, because if you actually went to Twitter, you will see she she was tweeting almost every single hour, if I might say. She was pretty much at it. I think for the first hour she was really going at it. If you are going to sing, do it properly. So I don't know who she's talking about there. She pretty much seems, yeah, she seems not happy with somebody. I just wonder who she's not happy with. She's gonna sing properly, and then iqiniso nyalazi, numbers don't lie, ningi fonele, some like that. Okay, we don't need to go that route. And then she goes on to say arranged winnings, and then she says a swear word, and then nonke. She says pretty much to everybody, like, so everybody gets it. Everybody is getting an insult out here. Yeah, she said it again, nonke, and so basically, like, everybody is getting these cuss words right now. And then she went on to kind of like respond to other people. At the other person was saying, akuvutwa. In most categories, judges are the ones voting. And so basically, then she responds to that, and then she cusses with a very big insult. Like, yeah, she cusses with a very big insult right there. And so you see, that one, that becomes now interesting, because, you know, if this is just a show business and you're in a competitive space and you expect no competition in comparison to you, you think yourself that great. People are putting out all kinds of songs out there, bangers and what, you name it. People are hard at work, putting out their work out there. And then you expect no competition. And then when competition arises, you're going to be tugaring everybody. Now, let's go on. On the next one, which is where I feel like she became a lot more personal. She says, Untombazane uyazi ukuthi numbers don't lie. And I guess she's talking about Ntokozo here, that she won a lot of awards. It's kind of like getting to her at this point. Angenisabi nonke. I'm not afraid of any of you. And then later on, she then clarifies an hour later, Ntokozo naye uyazi. So Ntokozo knows that her numbers don't lie. She says the word again, summers, blah, 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 blah. So let's talk about this image and delusion that I'm talking about here. Kelly Khumalo she sees herself, I don't know, is it just a vocalist or just a musician? Or is it a songwriter, as Google would put it? You know, because the idea that she's talking about, I'm going to get to this later on. If you guys remember, there was a video that was done by DJ Vlad when he interviewed Marvin Sapp. This particular video right here, where he talked about Kanye West winning an award which was catered for gospel musicians. And he said something that was very crucial. I'm going to come back to that just in the later parts of this particular presentation. But I want to just remind people here, it's not the first time with Kelly. Okay, Kelly, if you go back here, in 2020, when the Crown Gospel Awards were had, Kelly was out there cussing again. She was not happy. She wasn't cussing in this case, but she was like pissed off. She said she slammed, the article says Kelly Khumalo slams the Crown Gospel Awards. Now I want to just remind, Gospel Awards, Kelly Khumalo sings, I don't know, is it African pop or whatnot? But it comes back to this title right here. Okay, so she slams the Crown Gospel Awards for not bagging a win, and so she lost. She doesn't like it. And again, I repeat, you're in a space where there's competition, and you expect that competition should just not exist. You should just be respected. People should just acknowledge you without any questions whatsoever. Now, you might think maybe that's just misquotings and those kind of things. But if you actually go back into that article, still on this particular subject of these delusions that are being served up out there. Now, she says in that article, or the article actually wrote out the tweets that actually are attributed to this. She says, she compares her song to Babe Zveze. Now, if you don't remember this song, this is Canaan's song, Kenyati's song. This song right here, Baba Zveze. Guys, this song was a hit. This song was as gospel gets. She wanted to compare her work, which is not gospel. I repeat, her work, which is not gospel. Now, it might sound Christian, but it's not gospel. Okay? Now, this idea that one can cater to one different, not with gospel music. Gospel is about identity. It has to be embedded. Now, she recognizes this. I remember there was an article some time ago where she actually says, you know what, gospel music has been a part of me. Yeah, whatever. That's why I say there's illusions in this image. There is the image of what is expected as a gospel musician. She's serving herself a delusion. Why? Because Kelly wants to serve two masters. She wants to serve both worlds, and you can't do that. You can't do that. Even when you listen, I'm going to give you an example of this. If you listen to some of the biggest artists in South Africa, Kwesta, for example, his music is catered particularly for the grinds and good vibes. Grinds and good vibes. It catered to that person. So he will have a sad song, a storytelling song, whatnot, all of that, all catered to this person. It's catered to a certain identity of a person. AKA's music was just about the same thing. It was the songs that were catered around the vibes that someone was going to or was into. Artists mostly cater to a certain type of a person. If you can think about it worldwide, Beyonce, her music is catered towards this feminist idea of strength and you understand? Feminism. It's not just, I know I say it doesn't sound very Englishy, but it's catered towards that type of an energy. Sierra, if you remember Sierra's songs were catered towards dance. And so this becomes key to understanding because Ludacris, his music was catered towards club music. And so people that are directly doing gospel music, the image is clear. to whom they are catering. It's catered to a certain person, a worshipper. But she serves herself this idea that she can be worshipper while doing her own thing. If you go to Kelly Khumalo's Instagram page, it's a clear image of what she wants to be. She wants to be a baddie, but in the church. She wants to be a baddie, but in the church. What am I talking about? See the images that she posts, revealing clothes. This is not an idea of a Christian influential person, right? This is not it. Okay, this is not a Christian ideal. You see, she wants to be celebrity, super celebrity, and she thinks she's going to get there by catering to both sides of the audience. It doesn't go back to that image that I spoke about earlier on when I said you listen to people, certain big musicians. You can go to as far as you want. This is the guy who sings Karakara. What's his name? K.O. Right? K.O. It's vibes. It's vibes music. You listen to Stokie G, who is a hip hop musician in South Africa. It doesn't change his sound. His sound is catered towards lyricism, cadence and words and stuff like that. Poetry at its best. You can put it up there with some of the worldwide known thing. This music is catered towards a certain thing. He's not trying to pander to all these things. He caters his music to lyricism. It's a certain type. It's not this newer genre stuff and whatnot. No, it's a certain type. You can't do it all for everybody, which is what she wants to do. She wants to be a baddie. She wants to be an Instagram baddie, but then at the same time doing that in the church. You know, look at the images that she posts. Superstar. You know, now even if we went on Ntokozo Mbambo's page here, okay, and I'm not trying to make a comparison. I'm not trying to make a comparison. I want to show the importance of understanding what image one presents. Okay, there is clarity when you look at Ntokozo's image, right? The front of it, the Jesus. We are clear where we are. Hey, so it's not. Look at it. It says it clear. Jesus. Look at the images. Christian image. The appeal, it appears. There it is. It's Christian family. Over there, love it for the pirates. Okay, but it's clear the image is very Christian. It's not Instagram baddie, none of that stuff. It's not trying to show the body, show this, show. No, it's a Christian image. It's very. There is an idea to it. It's not just whatever you want it to be. She's not just doing whatever. You can't do that, claim church. Okay. Which is that thing. It goes back to that conversation that Marvin Sepp was having. I'm going to get to it just in a second. Okay. Now, I stated that Kelly Khumalo has had this issue before. She was comparing herself with Baba Ziveze, that song. Guys, let's not be delusional. That song was really good. Okay? Yeah, it might be a bit certain type of charismatic or Protestant, I don't know where you put it and stuff. But you might kind of categorize it and say it's that type of a genre thingy. But that song, for a gospel song, fit. She was comparing her music to that song, and she wanted her song. She wanted her song to win the award for that particular year. And so when she, now even if you go back to Twitter, actually, on Twitter they said, someone was even saying it, right here, Fuyo says it better. Your followers are not gospel listeners, unfortunately. So you're losing because you're trying to be in there, serve two masters. It just doesn't work like that. You want to sing to the audience, sing to that type of an audience. Hambo Winnie Zimpi. That's the songs that she's out there singing, right? Yeah, go do that. But again, I want to just kind of rephrase this again. Don't have the delusion of collaborating with certain people who are gospel and then think that that gives you the credit. No, don't work like that. Your image has presented you with a delusion because you feel like you can be in both worlds. Don't work like that. Not in this world. Like I said, you might find artists that are actually that do a certain type of music and they do it for it's a certain demographic. It fits a certain person. Now, let's go back here, right? We spoke about that particular article. We spoke about the people that are actually reminding her that, you know, your music is not exactly gospel. And I spoke about the image that you see when you just look at their Instagram page. When you look at the Instagram page of Ntokozo Mbambo and also Khumalo, she wants to be an Instagram baddie. Go do Instagram baddie stuff. That's not church. And so when she's out there cursing at everybody, oh yeah, it reminds me. Kelly had an issue actually. Kelly had an issue after those awards thingy came out, and she had actually gone to as far as saying that she says, I know, okay, notice, she says, I know I'm going to come off as a sore loser. At this point in time, I actually don't care. So you see, that's the thing. See, the audience that you're trying to appeal to, Christians, they do care. They do care how one takes other people doing good at the end of the day. Like if a person can't take that, it kind of screams off in a certain tone. I found it quite interesting when you actually go down to the bottom of that article, where they actually put it out right here saying, I have not made a move to gospel music. I have always had gospel songs on my albums. So you haven't moved to it, and then you want to still win awards in that particular category. This takes me back to that video that I mentioned of Marvin Sapp when he was talking to DJ Vlad about Kanye West winning awards in the gospel category. And he mentioned something, and he said, you know, the gospel category is the one space where you see people who come from other genres come and jump into it and claim the awards that others might have worked 10, 20, 30 years for. And just come, take all that, and then go. It disregards the people that are fully in that genre. People that completely serve the image, like I said, image and delusion. The people that are absolutely about it. Look at her. Look at this page. Okay? This represents Christians. Yeah, but no Instagram baddie stuff here. You see the dress. It's proper. It represents the things that we are all about. You see, it represents what we are all about. Image. But if you go over, like Kelly has this thing that she's been kind of like tagging. I don't know if this is a brand or whatnot. She pins this gin called controversy. Now, Kelly herself steeped in controversy all the time. Even now, it's just about the same thing. And so she's pinned herself with this brand called controversy, and it's a gin. And so again, it goes back to that. She wants to be everywhere and do everything for just cater for your audience. Cater for a certain type of an audience. Trying to be everything for everybody just doesn't work. You want to do that. but doing that and then coming to church and then wanting to take away from people that are actually about the image that we represent. And then I find it quite interesting that in that article she just says, yeah, you know what? Not about gospel. I'm not even going to. Yeah, I just have the music inside. It's a delusion. You've served yourself a delusion that allows you to feel entitled to take from people that are actually in that genre. And so going out there calling people's names and saying all these things, it just comes back to the delusion. When one serves themselves, I said this when I spoke about the collaboration with I said it serves a delusion because it deludes you to think that your music is gospel. Your music is not gospel. It doesn't win a gospel award. It's just not going to do. The same way she was pissed off there is the same way she's pissed off now. She's always been pissed off. Always been pissed off. Now, in closing of this video, I want to say, this is a reminder. Don't sell your soul for this stuff. Sell your soul to be famous. Sell your soul, or you lose your image, or a good image, because you want to be known in the street or in this work field or whatnot. It's not worth it, because now you come off as a soul loser. She says she doesn't care to be seen as one. Because at the end of the day, art and stuff like this, it's work of service. It be music or what I do here, being videos and stuff. It's work of service. You do it because you know it serves the other person who sits on the other side. When you're singing your song, you know that the song builds the other person. It helps the other person to contemplate the situation that they might find themselves into and walk themselves right through that. One of my most favorite songs, it's a song called Time. It's actually a soundtrack to the movie Inception by Hans Zimmer. And it's a piano, and it gets joined by all these other instruments and stuff. That song was my anthem to finding stability. I played that song through the worst period of tears. Walking an hour home, not having just 6 rand to go everything into town. I played that song to bits. And till date, I say, to think it, like, the day I walk the aisle, I will definitely walk to that song. Because it means something. It's service. You do your work of, it's service. So at the end of the day, that's why I'm saying, don't sell your soul for this stuff. You lose yourself, or you lose your image in the whole craft or whatever. And you will miss the whole aspect of serving people. Being a parent, it's service. Working at the job that you work at, it's service. All these things that we do on a daily basis, it's all service. You will never feel like you've lost something the way Kelly Khumalo feels right now. You will never feel like you've lost something if you have served the people that you were meant to serve. You don't serve the judges at the summers. Your service is the people that listen to that music and buy that music. But if your music sells your soul, and you have a delusion of an image that you supposedly uphold, you will miss the place of service, because you were striving to become something that maybe you were not destined to. It's the next reality show. We do daily Christian commentary videos. What's the reality of your service? Where are you serving? Family service. Children service. All of it. It's all service. How do you work at your service? You know what Cyril is doing wrong, but how are you doing at your service? It's Ricky. Take account.